In this video, I'm going to talk more about the process control loop. There are many ways to program a microcontroller. However, there is one thing that is certain. Microcontroller executes instructions one step at a time. Whether the microcontroller is part of a small system or part of a larger, more complex system, it still follows this basic rule, and that is it executes instructions one at a time. Simple instructions, and it executes them very fast. Our microcontroller system is going to actually execute a series of instructions, and then at the end of the cycle it will go back and repeat, because we're talking about automatic control system, which means that it must continuously read the status of the inputs and control the status of the outputs depending upon the condition of those inputs. So in this process, there will be some reading. Whatever that value that is read by the microcontroller must be saved in the memory. Then the programmer can use that information as part of some type of calculation. So read, maybe save, some type of calculation. And once the calculation has been completed, it must save the results somewhere. And then those results are then used to control the status of the output. Usually the reading and the saving is done as a single command, at least in the high-level language that we're using. And the calculation and the results are normally done in a single command for the language that we're using. And then there's the control. Finally, there's some kind of command which tells the microcontroller to repeat its process. So it's similar to resetting the system back to zero so it can proceed through all of the steps. I call this the process control loop. This is the same kind of loop that's done in process control in your instrumentation and controls class, except the control is not done automatically by the circuit. It is done by a fast-moving digital machine that reads, calculates, and controls at such a high rate you think that it's doing it automatically, but actually is doing all of these things step by step, one by one. So for each of these major steps, there is a command in the language that allows you to do each of these steps. Now the difference between the microcontroller and the logo is that in the microcontroller, you must write the loop. Whereas in the PLC, the loop is already part of the process of the logo, and you are only responsible for the logic. But in the microcontroller, you must write the loop and you must write the logic that is used to control the output. In the microcontroller, you will be writing commands step by step. In the logo, you're going to draw logic diagrams that relates the input to the output. Whether you use ladder logic to relate the inputs to the outputs, or whether you use what they call a function block, which relates the input to the output. But in the microcontroller basic stamp, you're going to use command sentences to execute your logic.